Why do I hate OM systems? I don't. Roll titles. Hi YouTube, Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again, and I've courted controversy, haven't I? Oh, that last video, the OM5 Mark II. Ooh, I got a lot of comments. Really thank you for the comments. If you want to leave comments on videos, please leave them below. I always like reading your comments, and I try to reply to as many as I can if I've got something to say. Some I just don't, because you make perfectly pertinent points yourself for other people to read without my interjection. But I do try and reply to as many as I can. Now, before we go any further, please remember to subscribe, thumbs up, and a little bell. About 70% of my viewers on here don't subscribe, and it costs you nothing to do so. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm almost at 13,000 subscribers, and I really want to hit that, hopefully before next week if possible. However, I did upset some people with my OM5 Mark II review last, which was a hands-off review, and I'll come back to that as the video goes on. So keep on watching for my opinion on the validity of a hands-off review. But I'm just in this one just going to hit very quickly my opinion on OM System, because I've been told you hate OM System. I do not hate OM System. I love OM System, what they do. I love the cameras. Let's just have a look at those cameras first of all. They have basically the 10 series, the EM10. I think it's still an EM10. I don't think the OM10's out yet. I lose track. But anyway, the 10 system, fabulous little camera. I love it. It's great. It fits in the pocket. Keep on doing cameras like that, OM System. But give us a mic jack in so I can put a microphone in it, make a wonderful little vlogging camera around the place just to do B-roll. EM10, OM10, whatever it is at the moment, wonderful camera. Keep on doing that. No problems with it. OM5 Mark II. I've told you what I think about the Mark II. I think that the Mark II, EM5 Mark II is a camera. And I'm talking about as useful camera, as a tool, as a thing. It's brilliant. It's got to be brilliant. It's based on the OM5, which was brilliant. And that's based on the EM5 Mark III, which was brilliant. I did a review of that a couple of years ago. I thought it was an awesome little camera. And for the price point, I think it's great. So all you people saying, I hate the camera from the last review. No, you weren't listening. I hate what's going on around the camera, the marketing, the Mark II bit, you know, this idea of what that signifies. But as a camera, taking photographs, I think it's awesome. The OM3, awesome. Again, it's got the insides of an OM1, so it's going to be a fabulous camera, because the OM1 is a fabulous camera. So I'll couple the two together. The OM1 and the inside of the OM3, brilliant cameras. Price points, negotiable. People are on and off on that one. What I loved about the OM3 was the styling. That's what really intrigued me. Now that hype's gone a little bit for me. Would I buy an OM3? No, because I'd rather spend my money on an OM1 and get more, if that makes sense. But as a styling exercise and for that bit of nostalgia, then the OM3 is fabulous. It's a bit like when Jaguar brought out the S-Type in the late 90s to try and redo that nostalgia, the Mark II Jag from the 60s. I thought it was brilliant. It was a blinking awful car, but I thought it was brilliant to try and do that. And I think OM System tried that with the OM3. Really what people want was a Pen F though, but you didn't do that. And I think I've got a reason why in a second, but I'll come back to that one. So the cameras, let's get that out of the way. I do not hate OM System cameras. I love them. I think they're fabulous. I think they're great, and I think they perform like you wouldn't believe. Get that done. GIP and OM System as a company, right. I had an awful lot of people going on about this. This is where some of my problem lies. And I had a lot of people trying to explain why. Well, when GIP bought or acquired the camera side of Olympus, well, they didn't necessarily get all the R&D side, and they're going to be struggling on this and trying to get new product out. It's a difficult thing. It's very costly. It's very time-consuming. Not my problem. I'm a consumer. When I talk my videos, I'm talking as a consumer. I'm not part of your company. If you can't produce the product, and you can't produce a product at a decent price, and you can't produce a product that people want or need or desire, then you're not competitive. That's not my problem. You'll go by the wayside, JIP, you'll go by the wayside system, I should say, because you're not producing the product that people want. Now, that's not an issue for me. There is an awful lot more fish in the sea. And if you are not able to produce, for me as a consumer, the product that I want, then I'm not going to be interested. And this is where the issue lies for me with this. Maybe there's not a great deal of innovation to be made. But when you start your marketing department bringing out Mark IIs, when there's no real significant change, then I get put off by that. It stops me wanting to go out and buy your product. Now, if I had an AM5 Mark III, which was well used and it's about to fall to pieces because I've overused it and loved it, would I go out and buy an OM5 Mark II? Yes, I would, because it's your latest offering and it is an improvement on what I had. But to call something a Mark II because you put a different etching onto a button, because you've slightly changed the tooling for the body design, and because you've what else have you done? Oh yes, you put a USB-C socket on it because you had to. That to me is not enough to warrant calling something a Mark II. I expect on a different mark of something to have a significant change. Yes, you've got new menus, that's firmware. Yes, you've got all this bits and pieces computational, that's firmware. You could probably have done that on the OM5 Mark I through firmware updates. This is not what I class a Mark II. It's a facelift. Call it, because you had a physical change on it, call it an OM5C because you put a USB-C socket on. You know, whatever it is, but it's not a Mark II. Mark II to consumers signifies a big change. When you got the G9 Mark II from Lumix, it was a big change over the G9. It was a totally different camera. That's what I expect. That's why I feel so let down. Now, you might have these issues inside your company. That's not my fault, not my problem. And when your marketing is trying to hype things up by bringing out what I call turd colour, maybe it's a bit hard, but somebody in the comments called it baby poo brown. I love that. Whoever it was, credit to you, baby poo brown. Make it so it's available for everybody. It is an obvious marketing ploy to get people to spend a full price on a brand new camera by doing it as a limited edition. We're not stupid. Would I like one? Yes. Did I like the colour? Yes, I did actually. Sand brown of it's called. I did like the colour. I would have one, but I'm not going to dash out and spend full price money just to get a fancy colour. I'm not that desperate. Would I buy the camera? Would I buy an OM5 Mark II? Yes. If I was looking for a new camera in that price point, I think it is brilliant. I'm not against your products, but please don't make me feel guilty for your lack of R&D. Please don't make me feel guilty for the fact that you find it difficult. I'm a consumer. I have no allegiance to keeping your company propped up. And what happens if a OM system fails? Well, I've got Lumix, and I do shoot Lumix too. And at the moment, I'm very happy with the Lumix products, but there's issues on them. That's for a different video. But if the Micro Four Thirds system isn't capable of providing what I wanted to do when I'm going to buy a new camera, I don't care about your R&D, I don't care about your tooling costs, I don't care anything else. I want to know, is the product right for what I want it to be? Is it reliable? Does it tick all the boxes I'm looking for? And is it cost effective? And if that's not the case, I will go to a different format. I have done it already. I came from Canon full frame and APS-C to Micro Four Thirds because it fitted the boxes I wanted more. But there's an awful lot of people going from OM system to Fuji, OM system to Sony. I was talking to my friend Keith the other day, who's got an A7 Mark, whatever it is, 3 or 4, whatever it is, and also an OM1. He loves them both. He had an AM5 Mark III. It didn't suit him for his birding. Didn't suit him for these outdoor things because the autofocus wasn't as good as what he wanted and the tracking wasn't as good as what he wanted. So he's gone to Sony where it all fits. If it fits, then it's worth it. So would I move format? I don't want to move forward. I'm quite happy on this, and I've got lots of cameras and lenses in this. But if I was looking for something new and you're not providing it, I'll go. And I think most of the consumers would too. So let me know in the comments below what you think. This is my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I try to reply to as many comments as I possibly can. Now, I have things like, if you are interested in an Ono M5 Mark II, for instance, or any of the other things, I have affiliate links down below. If you buy it through them, then it helps the channel support, but you don't pay any more for that. So if you're buying it through Amazon, consider through my affiliate links or anything that you want to do from there. I really appreciate it. And also, while you're down, if you'd like to buy me a coffee or give me a super thanks, you'll find me as a link for buy me a coffee in the description. buymeacoffee.com/Brian James. Or as I say, I hit the super thanks. And there's also, if you can go down there, a link to my Patreon, and these wonderful people on my Patreon, patrons, if you'd like to support the channel on a little bit more permanent basis, that really is appreciated, and I thank each and every one of them for that description below for the link. So that's where we are. I feel as if I'm being very terse and very pushy, but I am. Oh, that's what I was going to hit, and I did say I'd come back to this. Worth waiting for. I got a few comments online which weren't necessarily constructive. You haven't done a hands-on. How can you comment without a hands-on? I'm unsubscribing. Plus you're saying all these negative things. I come here for something positive. I'm unsubscribing. Well, let's hit those, because to be perfectly honest, if you're only going to be watching me when I'm saying words which you agree with, which are positive to you, then what's the point of being here? I'm giving my opinion on something. I'm giving my personal opinion on something. And my personal opinion isn't always going to be positive and fawning just because an individual thinks that I should only speak what they speak. I am allowed to say what I think on this channel. And I think one of the things which gives the integrity is the fact that I say what I feel, honestly, without telling lies, without trying to butter it up for anybody else. Even when I'm doing reviews of things which I'm given, I do tend to do that. But one of the reasons I don't seek having some of these cameras is it'd be nice to be whisked off to Japan or to Dusseldorf or somewhere like that and given one of these cameras for a day to go around and play with. But I don't have it. And people have said I should have these opportunities. Why? You're the Micro Four Thirds guy. You should have these opportunities. Surely they can give you a camera, and surely with your number of subscribers and your views and your ability experience, you could do a good review on this camera. Well, there's a good reason why they don't, because I might say something that they don't particularly like. I've been asked, why do you think you can do a review on a camera without even having it in your hands? How can you do a hands-off review of a camera? Because I do a lot of research. I do a lot of research watching other people who, some are just in it for the money, but some you know that you can pretty much trust their opinion because they're not just saying the nice things. When I referred to Petapixel in the last one, I rather like the fact that they will say some of the less nice things. They've got the size to actually not have to fawn too much to the camera manufacturers to be able to get something to play with. So when I was listening to them, and they were saying some of the negatives, I'm a consumer. As I said earlier in the video, I'm a consumer. I'm allowed to make my choice. Most of us don't get our hands on a camera for a few days to play with before deciding whether to buy it. A lot of us will only ever see it in reviews. We'll review and we'll order it mail order because there's no camera shops nearby. You'll order it mail order from one of the big places, and you'll have the camera in your hand before you've ever had a chance to touch it, to play with it. You might be lucky to have a play with it at a camera show where there's hundreds of other people trying to vie for that little bit of space to get their hands on the new XYZ 400 camera or whatever it is. So you're not going to do a proper appraisal then. You might borrow a friend's camera, but that's not brand new at release, but you might borrow a friend's camera and have a chance to play with it. But even then, you can't do all the things you want to do on it. So we do these things blind. And as a consumer, that's what I'm doing by reading other people's reviews. And I'm telling you what my thoughts are from those reviews. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it or you should buy it, but I am honestly telling you what my thoughts are. And I'm allowed to do that without having my hands on the camera, because most consumers don't get their hands on the goods. They order it mail order, and by the time it gets in their hands, that's what they've got. Very rare we play with it first. So that's why I feel I can do hands-off reviews quite comfortably, quite honestly, and quite easily. But there's problem about giving cameras. Yes, it'd be nice to be whisked off to Japan or Dusseldorf or America or wherever it is and given a brand new camera for a couple of days to go around and just snap away and take all this and be off parasailing in the Arizona desert or whatever it is that you're doing, and give the camera back. But there's still, even if they don't state an obligation, there's still that implied obligation that you need to say something nice. You need to give something positive on it. Now, actually, it's very easy on modern products because there's very little wrong. So, but if there is something wrong and you've just had several $1,000s worth of freebie holiday, being wined and dined in somewhere the opposite side of the world to be seen with their new product, are you really going to push those bad parts as much as you would if you bought it? Now, I'm not questioning anybody's integrity, but I do think it would be a very, very difficult thing, even if you're the person with the most integrity on the planet, to actually do that, because if you do, are you going to get the next review to come along, or are they going to take you off the list? It's a big question, and it's something which I haven't had to be part of as yet. When I've been doing my reviews for the tripods, for instance, or the cob lights, it's been very much on the understanding that they were giving me the light, but they didn't dictate what I was saying. And to be perfectly honest, if they don't send me another tripod to review or another light to review, I'm not really worried. They made the approach to me and I said, thanks very much. I'll give you an honest appraisal. However, that's where we're up to at the moment. But to those people who think that I can't do a hands-off review, or those people who only want me to say what they want to hear, bye-bye. The door's there. In fact, as a parting note, one of them did say, I'm unsubscribing, this are my final words on the subject. So my reply was, close the door on your way out. And then they give me another 6-line reply as to why I was being awkward with them. I thought, well, if the last one was your last word, why are you speaking again? But this is my last word. Keep on taking the camera out. Keep on having fun with your photography or your videography. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.